familiar with these great persons? Have you seen them before? And Google? And internet? In the books? Textbooks? No, you haven't seen them before? Okay, so these are the great four. They are considered, or they have been considered, as the great masters of haiku. They are the greatest writers of haikus, the Japan's unique genre of poetry. So, the one who tops the list is Matsuo Basho. Matsuo Basho is being rumored to be the son of a samurai. He is considered as a wanderer and a teacher. It was being said or recorded that he composed 1,000 haikus throughout his lifetime. And he kept on composing haikus till he breathed his last. He is considered as the greatest among all. He is the greatest writer because why is he considered as the greatest master? We already discussed that he detached the huku from renga, making huku, which was later on renamed into haiku, an independent poem. So he started the haiku, making him the greatest of all. Matsuo Basho, he is a teacher and a wanderer. Next is Masao Kashiki. Masao Kashiki is a literary critic. Masao Kashiki did not only write poems about nature, but he was also fascinated or interested with the funny or ridiculous actions of human beings. Masao Kashiki, a poet and a literary critic. Okay, try to pronounce their names. Matsuo Basho. Again, Matsuo Basho. Very good. Next is Masao Kashiki. Good. Next is Kobayashi Isa. Kobayashi Isa. Interesting fact about Kobayashi Isa is his pen name. His pen name is Cup of Tea. Yes, his pen name is Cup of Tea. Kobayashi Isa was not just only a poem writer, but he was also a journalist. He wrote journals. He was a lay Buddhist priest in Jodo Shinsu. Next is, we have Yosa Boson. Yosa Boson. Yosa Boson. Yosa Boson was also considered as the greatest writer of haiku, and he was not just a writer, but he was also a painter. So these are the great four: Matsuo Basho, Masao Kashiki, Kobayashi Isa, and Yosa Boson. Okay. Next is, we have the examples of haikus written by the great four. First is the dragonfly. So what is the poetic image that occurs the moment you see this one? Yes, insect. What insect? Dragonfly. Okay. So read The Dragonfly by Matsuo Basho. The dragonfly can't quite land on that blade of grass. So, after having a brief moment or a brief glance of the dragonfly, Matsuo Basho wrote a haiku about the dragonfly who cannot quite land on that blade of grass. Probably the dragonfly cannot land on the blade of grass because there was a wind. There was a strong blow of wind and the grass was dancing. So the dragonfly wasn't able to land because the grass, where the grasses were so unstable. They were dancing. So Matsuo Basho wrote or narrated his brief or short moment with the dragonfly. Next is The Cherry Blossom Petals by Masaoka Shiki. So what is the poetic image? The moment you landed, or the moment your eyes landed on this? Yes, cherry blossom. So what is being said there? Cherry blossom petals blown by the spring breeze against the untried wall. So that haiku was all about the cherry blossom petals that were blown by the spring breeze against the dried wall. Next is The Summer River. It is one of my favorite haikus. I really love this haiku. It was being written by Sir Yosabusen. So what is it? A summer river being crossed. How pleasing with sandals in my hands. So Yosabusen was trying to narrate his brief moment with the river. As he tried to cross the river, he had to take off his sandals and feel the water. And he really loved to wade through the water because probably it's cold, or maybe he loved the summer river. So that's it. The Summer River by Yosabusen. It was clearly narrated. Yes, the poem or the haiku was being short, but it was well detailed. The words being used was so simple and direct to the point. However, the story was so intense. It is not just a typical story. Like in this 3 short line poem, you could see a very beautiful picture. It enables you to visualize a magnificent image that could make you feel what Yosabusen felt as he waded or crossed the summer river with his sandal in his hands. Like the Yosabusen wanted to impart how pleasing it was to cross the summer river, and he wanted the readers to feel what he felt while he was having a brief moment with the river. Next is the poem Ask How Old He Was by Kobayashi Isa. Do you also know that Kobayashi Isa did not only write poems about nature, but he was also intrigued about the behaviors of humans, especially the fun ones. So what is it? Ask how old he was. The boy and the new kimono. Stretch out all 5 fingers. So he narrated his brief or short moment with a boy who was clad in kimono. What is a kimono? Have you ever heard of that garment? Yes, it is a garment, a traditional garment worn by the traditional Japanese, and still today, whenever they are having a occasion which commemorate traditional events, people in Japan are also wearing kimono. Yes, during occasions. So he narrated his brief moment or his moment with a kid. He asked the kid, "How old are you?" And the kid who was in kimono stretched out of 5 fingers. So it meant that the kid he asked, or to whom he posed the question, or the kid he asked was 5 years old. Yosabusen wrote a haiku about his interaction with the 5-year-old kid who was clad in kimono. Probably Yosabusen was so amused by this kid that he narrated his brief moment with him in a poetic manner or way. So these are some of the best haikus that are written in Japan and became popular also, not in Japan but also around the world. So these are the great 4, the great masters and the great pieces. Haiku, remember this class. Haiku is not just a haiku, but it is a haiku because it is not just written by the common poets or poetesses, but a haiku is composed by the great minds. It was started, it was created, it was being put, or it came into being because of these people who were having great minds, great characters, and great writing skills. So that is a haiku. So, do you have any questions? And this part, do you have any questions? Clarifications, objections, or are you guys having confusions? Let me enlighten you, class. Okay, now? Okay, so let's do a summary. What is a haiku? A haiku is a short poem consisting of 3 lines, and it has a 5-7-5 syllable structure. The first line consists of 5 lines, the second 7, and the third line or the final line is composed of 5 syllables. The word haiku is derived from what word? Yes, it is derived from the word huku. And what is a huku? Yes, excellent. Huku is the starting verse of the 100 stanza poem, or of the poem who consists of 100 stanza. Renga. So, who detached the huku from renga? Who detached it? Who detached? Yes, excellent. Matsuo Basho took the huku away from renga, making it an independent poem and making it as a new genre of Japanese poetry. Next is, who renamed the huku from haiku? Anyone? Yes. Yes, excellent. Masao Kashiki renamed the huku from haiku. Next is, what are the common themes found in Japanese poems haiku? The common themes. Yes, we have the nature or elements of the nature, but also take note that it is not all about nature, but sometimes haikus may contain or may focus on human behaviors, on human actions, and also we have also the seasons, the day, the night, and etc. But it is mainly focusing on nature, or most of the time haikus are written to narrate brief moments with the nature. And that is a proof that Japanese are nature lovers. They love to take care of the nature. They are the admirers of the nature. They admire the nature so much that they write poems about it. Okay, next. So what are the poetic images that could totally cross your mind the moment you read haikus, or what are some of the themes found commonly in Japanese haikus or in traditional haikus? Yes, cherry blossoms, trees, petals, what else? Colds, nights, what else? We have garden, landscape, insects, and etc. So that's it. So the poetic images also tell us what can we see in Japan, or what do Japanese experience in Japan. So it tells that in Japan there's a cherry blossom, there's a wisteria, there are a lot of trees in Japan. There is a wide or a huge field in Japan wherein they could see dragonflies and different types of insects. So through reading haikus, we could see what is being found in Japan, or what is the environment of Japan like. How does it look like? And what is the culture of the Japanese? Next is, we have the great writers or the great masters of haiku. And why do we consider them as the great form? Why? 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 Okay, why they're considered? Yes, greatest among all. It's yes, Matsuo Basho. Matsuo Basho. So who are the three? We have Kobayashi Isa, Masao Kashiki, and we have also Yosa Boson. And I also have given the examples. So haiku is considered as the great masterpiece or one of the greatest masterpieces of Japan. It is the favorite pastime of the Japanese, and it is also deemed or seen as one of the richest and most magnificent traditions of Japan. It is a proof that the literature in Japan is so rich. So we can never belittle the haiku because it has unique characteristics, rich history, and its significance is something that can make you say, oh, that is one of the wonderful creations I have ever seen. The haiku is being considered as one of the very special possessions of the Japanese tradition because of its significance. Through haiku, Japanese express their thoughts and emotions, feelings and convictions. They narrate their brief yet memorable moments with the nature, with the people, with the day, with the night, with the coolness, or with the dryness. Through haiku, they express who they are. They brag the beauty, magnificence, matchlessness, cleanliness, and the warmth of their nature, of their environment. Also, through haikus, they tell their culture. Who are they? What they see in the environment, what they eat, what they wear. They wear kimono, or through reading haikus, you can say they're wearing kimono. What do? They perform dramas. They write. They sing. They dance. Those are the things that you could discover the moment you read haikus. Not just read, but the moment you read and analyze a haiku and deepen your understanding. It might be a 3 short line poem, but it has a depth. It is of depth. It is deep. There are a lot of things that you can elicit from reading a single haiku. Through reading haiku, we can draw ourselves closer to the language of Japan, culture of Japan, and also to the people of Japan. And also, haiku is also a proof that Japan is having a rich literature. That they do not only excel in visual arts and performance arts, but their literary arts is also excellent. It is something that you would respect, you would admire. And the artists of Japan, the writers, as well as the painters and performers, are the persons whom you must look up to because they are great. They have great impact, or they contributed greatest development or great developments in the Japanese society. They make up, or all of those artists make up the rich and intact culture of that Japan. The culture, beliefs, and practices that have never died, that have been existing. Until today, they are existing. Until today, there are people, Japanese, who have been into haikus. They are writing haikus. They are continuing the legacy being left by this great form. And take note, Haiku is not only written or composed by the Japanese, but there are a lot of people coming from different corners of this planet Earth who are writing or composing haikus. Haiku is magnificent. Haiku is magnificent. Yes, it is magnificent, unique. It has a rich culture, rich history, and its significance is something that can make you say, Japan, you are great. Okay, so that's it. That is the haiku. So, I know and I hope that you have really learned a lot of things through listening to my discussion. I hope class grade 7 St. Cecilia, I hope that you have really discovered the world of haiku through listening to my discussion. And I know that you learned something because whenever I pose questions, you are able to answer. You are capable of answering. So, right after our discussion, these topics are so interesting, right? So right after our discussion, let us have an activity. Yes. So your task is to group yourselves into 4. I will be posting a poem, and then after I pose a poem, you would read it, analyze it, and you will get a piece of band paper and any writing materials or drawing materials. You would visualize the point. You would visualize, and after that, you would draw what you visualize. Right after reading it, or while reading the poem or the haiku, which I will be adhering to the board. Okay, guys? Gets? Am I clear? Am I understood? Your task is to get a piece of band paper and writing materials. You will read a poem and you would feel it, read it, analyze it, and you will visualize something. What comes into your mind the moment you read that poem? You draw it, and each group will present their work in front of the class, explain the interpretation, and with the drawing. Gets? Okay, let's start your grouping. Start counting. 1, 2, 3,